To America Votes 2024, and many of you watching, again, able to head to the polls with early voting already underway in the special election to replace Congressman Brian Higgins. The actual election is a week from today. Now, on the ballot, you have Democratic State Senator Tim Kennedy and you have Republican West Seneca Supervisor Gary Dickson. The winner will represent the 26th district for the remainder of this year, and then that seat will again be up for grabs in this November's general election, though the district lines do change a little bit. Joining me live here tonight is Republican Gary Dickson. I should point out that your opponent, Tim Kennedy, declined our offers to come on, so thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Pleased to be here.
I want to start here with what is typically the biggest issue for voters right now, talking about inflation, right? How high costs have gone up. What is the plan? What is your plan? What is the Republican plan to try to deal with that? There's been plenty of criticism at the current administration, too much spending, although a lot of that was bipartisan COVID spending. How do we actually help families deal with these rising costs?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And a big factor in the inflation is spending at all levels, especially spending beyond our means. So when we have to borrow trillions of dollars, when the state has to borrow billions of dollars, that affects the markets and that affects inflation. And we have borrowed so much money that our debt service is more than our Defense Department budget. It's unsustainable, and we have to control it.
When you go down the list of issues that really matter to people, another one that has really gone up there near the top now is the border, even though, of course, we're nowhere near the southern border. I want to show our viewers here. Of course, there was this bipartisan proposal in the U.S. Senate. It would have done, among other things, increased detention capacity, hired more immigration judges trying to speed up asylum claims, more agents along the border, more than $1 billion to help cities and states impacted, including here in New York State, and then a shutdown triggered if you have too many encounters in a certain period of time at the border. This ended up not getting a vote in the House or the Senate with Republican opposition. Is this something you would have supported?
I definitely support some type of immigration reform. But I mean, we should be clear that the president has all the authority he needs now to reduce the number of migrants, and he simply chooses not to use it. But however, I do think that there eventually is going to be more resources are going to be needed for the borders. And let's not forget, this is not just a southern border issue. This is a northern border issue also. Just last week, I was up in Wilson at the very top of the district on Lake Ontario at a border patrol briefing for the local residents. And they talked about some of the issues that they're having with increased border crossings from Canada.
Interesting. Wilson will no longer be in this district with redistricting next year, but is in the district for this special election. So make sure you check those lines. You are running in the 26th district. It is quite blue, which you are well aware. We looked at the numbers in the last presidential election. Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 27 points. Donald Trump isn't super popular in the district. How much do you support Donald Trump and his agenda and would be supportive should he win this November?
Sure. So as far as the district goes, yes, it's absolutely a blue district, we'll call it. We might even call it a deep blue district. It's probably the bluest district outside of New York City, bluer than Rochester, bluer than Albany. Yet people have the same general concerns. And these are the concerns that I ran on when I ran for supervisor in West Seneca, simply good government, controlling taxes, issues like that. And I think issues like that everybody can get behind. As far as the presidential race goes, I think it's safe to bet that most people wish we had some other choices. This is like Groundhog Day, where we're replaying the 2020 election. I think most people would prefer that it be otherwise, but it is what it is. We have two candidates. They have both been certified by their parties. Donald Trump is my party's candidate. It's a choice between two people. It's a choice between Biden, Trump. Under President Trump, we had lower inflation, we had lower costs, the economy was doing better, the border was doing was better. So I say if you're looking at a binary choice between those two people, I have to support Donald Trump.
I want to ask you something else that's been before Congress, in fact, just over the weekend. It's a huge foreign aid package for Israel, humanitarian relief in Gaza, also helping Ukraine with the Russia invasion. You talk about spending and trying to get it under control. This was a very expensive bill, but most people believe very necessary. Is this something that you would have supported?
Yeah, so I was in the FBI for 27 years, and 5 of those years I was at the American Embassy in Moscow. I know Russia, I know the Russian government, I know how they think, I know how they act. Putin was president for 3 of those years, and I can say without any doubt that Putin is a vicious dictator who assassinates his opponents, even overseas, and if he is not stopped in Ukraine, he will keep going, and we will not see the end of it. I think helping the Ukrainians defend themselves is the right thing to do.
I have only about 20 seconds left, but I want to give you the opportunity. Besides the things I've asked you there, what is a big issue you think in the 26th district that's important to you?
I think crime is a big difference, and that's where my opponent and I differ a lot. I mean, he was for bail reform. He was for the green light laws that don't allow, so that local law enforcement can't cooperate with, let's say, the Border Patrol. So these are a lot of issues that I think are very important to a lot of voters. And I think it might be surprising that these issues come into some significant influence, and his support in places like South Buffalo may not be quite as strong as he thought.
Gary Dickson is running in the special election for the 26th Congressional District, which includes Buffalo, Niagara Falls, and other communities. The election a week from today. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.